on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now come on in. Now come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
What it is? What's up? Hey. Girl, what's going on, everybody? It's your girl BondyBlue. I'm back for another BondyBlue show. Oh yes. Coming to y'all with the content live, girl. It's live if you did not know. Shout out to everybody that was in my members only yesterday. Okay, I feel like I want to play the music just because, bitch. That's what I felt like. Members only, members only, members only, members only. Okay, that's usually how it goes if it's a members only. But we did Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop Miami, girl. It was fun. It was a lot to discuss. I feel like I was getting through it. It was a lot and I was getting through it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to get through it, girl. And Keah Rose just put up her second episode right before I was coming up here. So that is what we are going to get into first. Shout out to the girl, Keah Rose. Okay, I really love her. Okay. And so she was on the internet, letting the people know that she got fired from the podcast, the Love Conversation, whatever it was. Like, you've seen the clips on TikTok, you've seen the clips online. Okay, shout out to the resurgence. Okay, the never would have made it. The rise from the depths of death. Lazarus, if you will, TikTok coming back less than 12 hours later. Okay, just to show you, we were just playing. We were just playing. We weren't really going to do that. We just wanted to get y'all like fired up and like ready for the crescendo of fuck shit that was about to take place. Hey, y'all paying attention? Because we were just playing. Y'all paying attention? All right. Boom. Now you got story after story after story after story. And it is just as exhausting as it once was. And I just remember it. And I remember it because I just finished editing some more clips for BondyBlue Bites. Yes. Follow my other channel. Because you must capitalize in the capitalist system. You must capitalize, okay? And the way I have capitalized, girl, is to create little bite-sized versions of these long lives that we do like this, okay? That you in right now, all right? And so I was looking over some of my stuff from like the election and right after the election, and girl, when you be so right, and you watching yourself and remembering exactly how you felt in that moment, and then fast forward to this moment, the future, and you are having that exact same moment, girl, it just proves to me that time is not linear. It is a circle. It's a circle. Okay. So in order to deflect from the fact that everybody has just lost their civil rights, okay, in order to like say, hey, I know that's going on over there, but look over here. Like, come watch my content. I know you're stressed out. Come over here. So, with the knowledge of that happening, I wanted to come to y'all with some shit that's not that terrifying. Let's see if we can have a good time today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe. Listen, y'all know I love when white men scream for me. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the Keah Rose of it all. This is the first video because we need to just lay the foundation of what we're here for. And then we're going to get into the second one. Let's go ahead. Are you ready? Did you follow BondyBlue Bites? Did you though? But did you? But did you though? Okay.
Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? So because I'm unemployed, this is my content now. So if you like content like this, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that little bell notification. So this is the creator of the pod. This is Randy Rosario, Mike the Poet, Trip Fontaine, Fine Ass Keah Rose, and Mojo Jojo! A lot of you guys are like, well, I don't care about this bitch or that bitch. Where's my favorite? Oh, shit, there she go to your favorite. She be dropping them gems. This is Keah Rose. She got Randy out quick fast. She said, I want your spot. How can I manipulate everyone to get it? I'm going to detail that, though, in the following episodes. It's going to be like 500 episodes. Uh-oh, bonus feature. This guy says he used to be with Kitty, but that can't be true because it would have been around the time she was married, and she can't stand side bitches, and she can't stand cheating women. Ho, the drama, the tea. Hope we all heal. Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Hello, and thank you for watching part 2 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? I just want to address a few things that have been really pissing me off. Number 1, I'm not one of those friends that fall out with a friend and tell their business. These hoes actually never liked me at all. This isn't a hurt people situation. This is a you fucked around and now you're gonna find out. A lot of you are saying this seems a little one-sided, Keita. Right, because I'm the only one talking. So since your faves get paid to speak on a daily basis, they should have no problem freaking out. Before it was tonight's conversation, live and uncut, it was tonight's conversation, love, sex, and relationships, the tour. I had never been on tour before. I was content creating and working HR at Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. I was HR there. By the way, since we're doing this, y'all probably shouldn't be eating that shit either, but if they sue me, they're going to take my son. So I best be shutting that ass up. But I got to meet some really great people. I met the very talented Jay Martinez, the very funny TC Caldwell, the really beautiful and talented K-Love the Poet, and Joe. Look how happy I am. Stupid girl. Emotionally mature, ready for marriage, man. Honestly, the show was a vibe. It was a vibe. It was intimate. It was positive. I had millions of followers.
The wig. Oh my God. Why is she like this?
TC had millions of followers, but he lost his page. And when he lost his page, Mojo Jojo said, "You're no longer valuable. Goodbye.
Are you serious? Are you serious? TC is fucking hilarious. I love him. I was wondering why I had not been seeing him. This shit? Takes me out every single time. Every single time.
My best friend, and the reason why I'm in this fucking predicament, she was following Mojo Jojo and couldn't believe he picked me to be on tour. So when Mojo Jojo hired me, he said that we were going to make a lot of money because he had done a lot of shows. This wasn't his first show. This was my first tour, but not his. He used to be on tour with, who's that? Apparently, it started out a card game, but then they like moved it to making content and then moved it on the road. I don't know. So one of the products sold on tour that made the tour and made him so lucrative is his card game. But word on the curb, allegedly is this was not his idea. A little birdie told me that the card game was his idea, but he just didn't know how to market it right. Good thing Mojo Jojo is a master marketer. Ooh. Unfortunately, this is going to be the end of part 2. But don't worry, we're going to give you a sneak peek of what's to come in part 3.
That's what I'm telling you. What? Basically, y'all men really don't like getting y'all asses ate? No. Man, for what? Y'all better be glad I ain't no shit. Because I put these niggas after I be living. I like for men to be on me. Okay? And all true honesty, it's something about that screen hitting that.
Hello, and thank you for watching.
That's wild. But I honestly, I feel like, let me write that down. Find books on why women like being degraded in sex. Okay. I need that. I need somebody to explain that to me from a studied standpoint. Why I know on some level women do these things, merely for the validation of men. You want to be picked. You want a man, to want you. And in your mind, this is what it's going to take in order to do that. But if because I don't want to judge anybody. I don't want to judge anybody because your kink is your kink. But I think there's something to be said for women that like to be denigrated in sex. And I've been fascinated with it ever since I kind of got introduced to the BDSM community, in my surrounding area. And the more I'm around and just kind of, slip in and out of certain events and stuff like that, or just knowing what's going on with certain people that are in that environment, or in cliques of BDSM, and they do shows and stuff like that. Because what ends up happening is the burlesque world kind of crosses paths with that. The dance and burlesque world crosses paths with BDSM and sex clubs and things of that nature. Okay. We're being real, we're being honest, right? Okay. And so what I have paid attention to is that there is a level of darkness that doesn't have to be there, but you notice it's because just innately people are fucked up. And people are fucked up because their parents were fucked up. Or they were, you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't protected, or they weren't taught, certain things. And you know that because it ends up trickling out, right? It always ends up trickling out some of these like mentalities that really are people who may sometimes be mentally traumatized and don't know that, and are poor and don't have access to those things, don't know about certain things when it comes to therapy and go and talk to people and having therapies that will help you with your trauma, especially when it's extremely deeply rooted. And I've just come into contact with people that we all have our traumas, but some of them have very fucked up, dark traumas that they are coming in and out of in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they're having a good time and that energy is not dark, it's not heavy. And then other times it is, and it's extremely dark and it's extremely heavy. And I have noticed that from being around certain people, and as somebody that likes to drift in and out of light and dark as a balanced being. I like that I stay on my toes and that I move in and out, a lot, instead of being stuck in some of these spaces, because I feel like the longer you get stuck, sometimes the more fun you have, but also the more detrimental it can be to your psyche if you're always doing certain shit when it comes to sex, or when it comes to how you relate to fun in your life, when you relate to excitement. If that's always related to something dark, whoo, girl. And I hate that I took that conversation all the way there for y'all right quick, right fast, but it's just something that I've been thinking about. And I really want to get into as far as like reading books and studying why do women specifically, and I know it's probably linked to the guilt and shame we're socialized to carry, but it's something about the way women like to be denigrated in sex. And the reason why I really was thinking about that, and I can't wait to find out more about Keita. I can't wait to find out more about what's going on. I'm glued in. She's one of my faves on social media. So I'm glued into what she got going on. I support her, until further information comes out, because y'all know I'm a case-by-case basis type of bitch. But it's giving whatever Keita said, then people did that shit. That's what it's giving to me. But anyway, and that's just going off how I've known her to be, how real she is, and how honest she is in her commentary and her comedy. Really like her. Anyway, I said that because I noticed, and we're not pulling this story up. I'm not giving it credence. Maybe I will. Let me see. Did I save it? Y'all, there is a Caucasian young woman, and you would never confuse me with her because I'm not a Caucasian young woman. However, there is a Caucasian young woman by the name of Bonnie, 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 Blue, who had sex with 1,000 men in 12 hours. And she has been on social media talking about it and, pubbing it. And I'm just like, girl, I hate the fact that your name is so close to my name. Like, I'm not really excited about that fact. But I also am the type of person that likes to think a little bit deeper about sex, because I do recognize the way people treat it. So I was wondering, like, why would you do something like that? What did that feel like for you? Like 1,000 people, you really was letting a whole bunch of men get that close to you and just climb on top of your body and expose you to their weird bodies and their weird penises and whatever body odors they may have, or how they may sweat, or if the dick is trash. Like, it's just, it was wild. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It was wild to me that she would do something like that, and not from the point of feeling like she's so gross and disgusting, like a lot of people, feel, but really like letting all of those men on top of you, letting all of those men inside of you is the gross and disgusting part of this. And I'm just wondering, and that's because men are gross and disgusting a lot of the times, especially the ones that I feel like are lining up outside of a door to have sex with a woman that 999 men have had sex with right before me within this 12-hour period of time. Like, the fact that men have no qualms about that, I feel like that's just showcasing how men are animals. I think when we were socializing the mentality of the country, and when we were socializing humans, period, we adopted this mindset that men are better than animals. But when it comes to sex, it's starting to feel like that may not necessarily be the truth. And just like in most situations, a person has to actually showcase being evolved in order for you to believe that they are evolved, right? So if you are a man that is sticking your penis in holes in walls, sticking your penis in pies, sticking your penis in holes, women, like, you don't care. She could be a crackhead. You're gonna let her suck your dick. You can be in prison with a man. You're straight fucking a man. You don't really care about your dick. So it is crazy to me the way, a woman would then go and decide to let 1,000 of them climb on top of her and do their business. Like, girl, I don't know. And I want to understand. Like, I do. I want to read a book that is going to make that make sense for me. Okay. Hold up. Let me look her up. I'm gonna just pull up her page because I ain't got time for all of this. Okay. I think, yeah, this is her. She doesn't even have that many followers for this shit. So then that makes me feel like whatever she's saying that she did, it might be a lie. She might not have really done that.
The day with me as an adult content creator, and this morning I had just got back from Cyprus, so I was so tired. Headed to bed for a few hours while having a shower. That's fair. My sister made a full English. And if you have pets, you cannot move them when you make the bed. You have to make it around them. And look at the state of this room. I've been away from home for like 3+ months now, so it's so hard trying to find things. And I always get really curly bits, like the short bits at the front of my hair. This is my mum just waving me off when I went to work. Did a hot scene with Kieran as always. Then I headed home, had a Pepsi with my dad, sister, and mum. We had a curry. And if you're from like Derby, there's a place called Tandoori Nights in Charlotte, and it is amazing. I then packed my cases because I was heading to London later on tonight, put on my comfies. And these are the pictures on my mum's stairway. Yes, she is proud, and yes, I do. Did have to reopen my suitcase though because I forgot which one I packed for London. And I was so tired at this point. It was already like 11:15. Did a few work calls in the car because a lot of my team work in Australia, so it ends up being late night meetings. Anyway, got to the place and it was beautiful. Decided not to stay in a hotel, but like Airbnb this time, so I wasn't crammed into one room. And then I headed straight to bed with Nelson. Night.
Okay, so yeah, that's the girl, 24 years old, that has this. She's an adult content creator, so that means she does adult content. She does porn. And she decided to, I guess they have to have physical proof. They have to, physically show it. And so I guess her OnlyFans is where that would be shown. And look how, clean and, all American white girl, it's giving. And she's not from America, but that's the look that it's giving. But she's Australian, and I guess they must have different mentalities on sex, or maybe it's just really out of the box still, but her parents are still fine with it. Yes, y'all. Every once in a while, when I play a video from somebody else, there's going to be an echo. I've heard the echo. I don't feel like it's as bad as everybody makes it out to seem. So I'm gonna choose to ignore that it's happening because I can't control it. So I would love if y'all would do the same. But I get it because y'all think it's something I can do about it, but I can't. Like it's StreamYard. But yes, that's another thing. I was thinking like she must have a Stefan coochie. Like that coochie must not be, but then you have to think like be fucking for real. Most of these men don't have big dicks. Let's be for real. Most of these men have small penises. Their penises are not probably as big as everybody's acting like it is. So it's not doing that much damage. If anything, I just have to wonder, like, that's why I said, what are you getting out of that? Because I can't imagine it's at all that pleasurable to you. I can't imagine that. And you just going, let them just, pump their little wet noodle inside you for a couple of seconds. They're going to come in and they're going to move on. That's another thing. You think these men are lasting any longer than 3 minutes? They're not lasting that long. So it's just, the line, of men coming to do a 1-2 pop on you, like you're a machine or something. I don't know. That's wild, man. And I hate that her name is close to mine. I also hate when everybody puts I or IE on the end of my name. I know a lot of y'all don't know that, but that like irks me when people do that. My name is usually all over the screen. People are usually talking to me from a screen where it shows my name and they still spell it wrong. And I never understand why that's happening because it's like you're adding me, spelling it right. And like you're on my page, meaning like you're on my YouTube where my name is always somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You're on my Instagram, name is always somewhere. And y'all are, still spelling my name wrong. And I don't like it. And I prefer that you don't do that. And that is specifically because I don't want anybody confusing me with anybody else. Okay? Mary Sparkle's like, well, thank you for the super chat. Bonnie male validation is a hell of a drug, I guess. Oh my God. Thank you for the other super chat. She likes them young, like college freshman young. I mean, well, she's 24, isn't she? Or who are we talking about? maybe we were talking about somebody else. I don't know. I can't even remember. And I was talking about Keita and them. And I'm talking about the other girl too. Kitty. It's Keita and Kitty. I don't know if I'll review Young, Rich, and African, and that's only because I watch it mindlessly, like not in a way to like collect notage. But what I will say, based on what I've seen thus far, is that Annie makes me feel like something's wrong with her, like she's tweaking or something. Like she's just very, very like manic in her movements and in her body energy. So I'm like, what's happening there? I'm tired of seeing the bleaching, like the differentiation between your face, your ear, your neck, your chest, your arm, your hand. Like it's weird to me. And also like the huge body modifications that have been done. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. What I will say is the men are always impeccably dressed. Like whoever, I forgot the dark skinned man, but he had on like this cute scarf. He had on this like really beautiful embellished jacket. It was a lot of good. It's a lot of good over the top looks that don't look tacky to me. Just over the top as fuck, but not tacky. And I love that for them. But yeah, no, girl, I don't know. Is it swanky? It's probably swanky. Let me make sure. Hold up. Before we move on to the next topic. Are y'all yes, it's swanky. And the other one. No, it's not swanky. I do like swanky style. I do, but not just him. Not just him. Okay, hold up. Oh, he styled Brooke Bailey for her photo shoot with that African man. Yes. Okay. All right. I recall. Okay, hold on. I'm about to pull this picture up for y'all. So y'all see the one that's standing next to Swanky in the middle? What's his name? whatever his name is, I'm talking about him. The girl who looks like Doja Cat right up front, he's behind her. Like Annie, he's right behind Annie. Him. Louis, that's what I thought. Louis, yes. Louis be looking real good. Like I like, that's the jacket I was talking about that he has on. He's standing up in right there. Oh girl, I'm so glad she put a blazer over them hips, because the shit that she did to her body, I feel like was so unnecessary. Like I think a lot of these women are already thick. Also, Miss Girl over here on the end, fake Johnny Blaze, all the way to the end. Y'all see her? And I'm calling her fake Johnny Blaze because she low-key reminds me of fake Johnny Blaze. Like she reminds me of Johnny Blaze, but Johnny Blaze is styled better. Yeah. Her. Fontana. But yeah, no, it's good. The girl who looks like Doja Cat is only 34. I was shook. Her voice is so low. Fontana is so. It's giving that. Hey, boo, sending you love from London. Hey, love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Swanky did Portia's weddings too. Okay, that makes sense. He has great over the top style. It's beautiful. The bleaching they use is old fashioned. If they truly want to bleach fully, they need to use the pills and IV. Yeah, and I wish that nobody would bleach. I wish all people would stop bleaching their skin. I think it's stupid. I think it's weird. I think that the fact that you are acquiescing to such an ignorant and dumb thing to your own detriment, like it is ridiculous. It infuriates me, but what are you gonna do? Jay Jersey, thank you for the super chat. Men are thought to be better than animals because men have brains and are supposed to be able to reason. But then there is Giselle Bellicott from SLC. Also, animals have brains. Animals also have reasoning skills. Reasoning skills in animals come down to, how they move about their environments. They know how to live. They know how to, what I'm saying? Like if you notice, animals in the wild have socialized in a way that they know how to live. They live in packs. They have dynamics in their packs, their families and all of that type of shit. If y'all see the way elephants get down. So the idea, wolves, like even cats. Like the idea that you think that you're so much smarter than animals simply because animals don't speak and they don't have opposable thumbs and they may not have the same memory span because their brains are smaller. Yeah, no, I'm not. No, because I really like my animals more than people. I really, really do. So I just can't believe that to be true. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that human men had to decide that we needed to be better than animals, that's a mistake, because I think that creates a delusion. The delusion makes you think that men aren't as fucked up or as brutal or as callous as animals can be. You assume all animals have empathy. You assume that humans have empathy and animals don't have empathy. To me, that would be the difference. Okay. That's not real though. That's not real because men do very fucked up things. I mean, men traumatize animals. Like the men are out here fucking the animals, girl. Okay. And I don't mean just men, but you know what I'm saying? Humans. So I think that the delusion of that puts you in a mindset of thinking that they can't do some of the terrible things they do. And when you think that they can't do those things, then you think that they won't happen to you. And you are then disarmed because now you're unaware of the danger that you're actually in. You see what I'm saying? That is a tool of the person that is trying to endanger you, to convince you that nothing is wrong, so that when they pounce on you, you're shocked and you don't really fight back. Not as hard as you could if you saw them coming. They learned that from animals. Just saying. Anyway, I want to move. I want to move on. We're going to move on. Do me a favor because I need to break it up. Watch this commercial.
Listen here, girl. I know you think it's a game, but it is absolutely not. Okay, this is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl. And that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body. this transformation. Get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shake. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up in honey, okay? Your muscles have gained life, new energy, agility. Get into it, okay? Just Move supplements. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys, I feel like this is political as I'm gonna get with y'all today, okay? But I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I have to do my commentary on the fact that Nelly and Snoop Dogg decided, and Rick Ross, amongst other celebrities, decided that they want to perform for Trump's inauguration. And I was not surprised, because what I have learned is that systematically, once you started to give Black people celebrity fame access, it then separates them from the people whose community they're supposed to be a part of, right? We're supposed to be the Black community. At one point in America, it was extremely vital that musicians use their standing to get in certain places and to have white people want to see them perform, to use that as a way to get us to a point of equality. And this came from, just for instance, Aretha Franklin paid for a lot of Martin Luther King's like travel arrangements and things of that nature as he was marching and doing those things. She paid for a lot of those trips, okay, hotel stays, all of that type of stuff. A story I specifically heard relating to the history of Dookie Chase, which is a restaurant down here, and it was a place that during the civil rights movement, a lot of those famous or well-known Black people would meet up there to eat when they were in New Orleans. Okay, so it's a lot of our history that is tied to artists. Even hip hop in its infancy is about Black people speaking about their experience and how their experience is unfair. And what did this do? This then shows white people who, and everybody outside of the Black community that may be ignorant to it or choosing to turn a blind eye to it. They then had to deal with what we were expressing because it was in music they wanted to listen to. Music is a tool, right? And so what did that do? That created more of a mixed bag with us. That's why in the 90s, Black people like white music a little bit more, white people like Black music a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, as we're getting into the 2000s, everybody's aging out of this mindset and going back to their respective corners. And it's sad. I feel like things felt lighter in the 90s because we were really still under the illusion that everybody was kind of in this together, so to speak, even though as Black people, we're always aware, but we always know that because the system has been infiltrated the way it has been integrated the way it is, a lot of Black people feel like their individual success is the example and their individual success is all they need to do. They don't need to do anything else other than just be. And I can understand that at some point, but I think when you go and perform for somebody that is basically going to sign in laws, he is going to sign in policies that is going to hinder people like yourself. And the kids growing up now that you're rich, they won't even get the aid that you got as a kid because you've now decided that this is not important to you. This is not connected to you in any way, and you don't have to worry about it. Well, please understand, white people do not have that same mentality in the same way. They do, but they don't. Right? Because essentially white people vote against their own self-interest all the time. We see that, right? This is not in their best interest that all of these things are dismantled. People are going to lose jobs. Even if you're not a Black person, if you work in any government agency that is based in, DEI initiatives, child, then you've now lost a job. Whether you are white, Black, like there are white people that work at places that have to ensure these things, lawyers that have to defend when litigation comes up. So there's a whole bunch of people that are going to financially lose out in some type of way from y'all deciding to be this racist. So understand your support, your physical support, meaning you performing your music at this man's inauguration, because now he's the president. I think what a lot of us have learned is that is no longer acceptable. I think what we've learned is that It is now getting to a point where you literally have to pick a side. You can no longer be in the middle acting as if these things don't affect you, because now it's about to get to a point where it's absolutely going to affect you. The fires. A lot of celebrities, you know, they need money. They got to pay for shit. I imagine Snoop and Nelly have all, Rick Ross, y'all have cases against y'all. Y'all have jobs y'all need to get so y'all can pay certain bills and shit like that. Who knows the type of, you know, under the carpet shit that might be going on. Snoop might be paying hoes bills because of certain stories they don't want to come out. You never know why people don't turn jobs down and why they would befriend somebody who they believe can be bought. Meaning that if I have cases, Nelly, and I go perform for this president, then, you know, when me and Boosie ask for, you know, clemency, when me and Boosie ask to be, you know, our records to be expunged, then we could possibly get that done. Therefore, we can be released back out into the community to do whatever the fuck we was doing before again. That's really all it is. Okay. Either way, this is what Nelly said in response to the backlash that people had. And I feel like people were entitled to be, you know, upset about this, because this is really going to affect everybody. Like everything that's going on, the energy of it, that's why. The energy of what is happening and what is about to happen is perforating. People are feeling it. People are scared. And they're upset that everybody's acting like this is not going to get as bad as we know it can get. Child, it's only what? 19. It's day 4. It's day 4. It is day 4. Let's listen to what Nelly had to say.
She was riding with me because I put on for my city, and I tried to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done. If you follow what I do, this shouldn't even be an argument. He's the president. He won. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an RNC. I'm not out on a political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5. You see what I'm saying? Like to try to help somebody get voted.
Come and invite you to
No. She didn't invite me.
I didn't invite me either, man. I was
going like so, but I don't knock the one. I thought you was that did. I don't knock the brothers and sisters that benefited from it. I don't knock the correspondents that may have gotten money to do that. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office.
That's cap. You don't respect the office. You're from the generation that doesn't respect authority. Not that should, you know, honestly, that's more respectable than what this shit is you talking about right here. To me, you just saying anything you can say in order to make this make sense. But I think we are no longer in 2016. And we're not in 2006. We're not like, this is not Bush. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a dismantling of how we got as far as we got. And I think people are really, because of the phones and all of this shit, y'all are under this illusion that people didn't have to fight for this to happen. And that if you don't like keep the checks and balances in place, then it's going to crumble. I think people think because we live in 2025 and in America that this shit won't crumble. But let's be fucking for real. These decisions that y'all feel like are honorable are not. History has shown itself that whenever you align yourself with a dictator, it's never good for anybody, even the people who were close to them that everybody thought was going to be okay anyway. And let's not forget, as Black people, you can't just leave here and then go blend into somebody else's European nation and it all be well and good. No, because whatever happens here is gonna spread.
It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country have to go to war and have to put their life on the line.
This is not the same thing as that, Nelly. This is a performance that you are telling us you're doing for free because you honor a man that does not honor anything besides his own pockets. But that must mean that that's something you honor. Men who don't give a fuck about anything other than their pockets. I wish you wouldn't have had kids if that's how you felt.
For whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever in office.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
I would ask them to show me where that did. I don't care he's a white supremacist. And here's the thing.
Somebody said the same thing to me. And then when I gave them an example, he was sued. He was sued for his racist renting practices in the 70s. That's common knowledge. So, but you'll act like, oh, that was a long time ago. Okay. So right now he's signing papers that dismantled the Equal Opportunities Act from 1965. You're going to act as if that's not an act of racism, but it's literally dismantling what we did to fight racism. Click at any point? No? It's not clicking. It's not clicking. Selena Johnson said in the comments, Central Park 5, Nelly. Yeah, the young men that actually weren't guilty of R-ing anybody, but Trump made it his business to put them on the front of the newspaper as such. They went to jail for a long extended period of time. One of them lost their lives and all of that. Assaulted as young kids in prison. Okay.
Nobody's allowed to change. Right? See, here's the thing.
And that's another thing. Nobody's allowed to change. When did the change occur? I think that's another, like, if y'all notice, whenever we talk about certain people, because Chris Brown comes to mind right now, but whenever we talk about certain people and how they are guilty of something still, everybody likes to act like, oh, we can't forgive people. And it's like, well, when did they ask for forgiveness? When did they showcase that they were sorry and that their behavior had changed? When did that happen? Like, go and show me the video. Go and show me the message. Go and show me them responding to a tweet. Show me them taking real accountability for the things that they continue to do. Show me the video where Chris Brown says, I treated Karrueche Tran horribly. No, what you'll actually go and find is a video of him saying that if you my bitch, you always my bitch. That's what you'll find. So he's literally online right now, and we'll talk about Chris Brown. But he's literally online right now, with this same the same reasoning that y'all seem to have, that, people change even if they show no evidence of those things. But you just throw it out there because you know that that's a response that, people may not be able to respond to. No, I can respond and tell you, what evidence of change have you seen? Just like you're asking me of evidence of racism. Whenever people ask me that, and this is what I do, right? Because I don't have every racist thing that this man has done offhand because it's too extensive. But here's what I can do. I can type in times Trump has been racist. Okay. And Wikipedia has an entire page called Racial Views of Trump. Let's see. In 1973, Trump and his company, Trump Management, were sued by the Department of Justice for housing discrimination against African-American renters. He settled the suit, entering into a consent decree to end the practices without admitting wrongdoing. From 2011 to 2016, Trump was a leading proponent of the debunked birther conspiracy theory, falsely claiming President Barack Obama was not born in the United States. In a racially charged criminal case, Trump continued to state as late as 2024 that a group known as the Central Park Five, mostly made up of African-American teenagers, were responsible for the 89R of a white woman in the Central Park jogger case, despite the 5 males having been officially exonerated in 2002. Trump launched the 2016 presidential campaign with a speech in which he said that Mexico sends criminals to the border. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're bringing artists. And some, I assume, are good people. During the campaign, Trump used the fears of the white working class voters and created the impression of global danger of groups that are deemed to pose a challenge to the nation. Trump made comments following a 2017 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, that were seen by critics as implying more equivalence between the white supremacist marchers and those who protested against them as very fine people. In 2018, during an Oval Office meeting about immigration reform, Trump allegedly referred to El Salvador, Haiti, and African countries as shitholes, which was widely condemned as a racist comment, especially when you like historically look into how America has made some of those places shitholes. It's like taking a shit in a hole, walking out, and then telling somebody, don't go there. That place is a shithole. Yeah. You just took a shit. That's what happened. We can talk about presidency things, of course. Oh, child, listen, at a rally in Birmingham, Alabama, November 21st, 2015, Trump falsely claimed that he had seen television reports about thousands and thousands of Arab Americans in New Jersey celebrating as the World Trade Center collapsed during 9/11 attacks. Just like he lied about the Haitian immigrants eating dogs during his campaign. He uses the same wording. So I don't know why people can't surmise when he's lying, because it literally happens so frequent. Like it's a Wikipedia page, y'all. It's a Wikipedia page of all the times he's been racist. And yet a black man is sitting on the internet telling us that he found it honorable to perform for free at President Trump's inauguration because he has seen no real signs of racism. So stick your head in the dirt, act as if the facts aren't out there, and do something distasteful, and then come to us with the bullshit. That's basically what it's giving. I'm exhausted with you people. Well, guess what? And another thing, y'all, I just want to mention, I know I'm not really speaking on Snoop, and that's because I'm not surprised by Snoop. Snoop has been showcasing himself to be misogynistic, ignorant, a sellout, a whore, and extremely problematic. Like, I don't care what anybody's been saying. Like, ever since we've been seeing more and more of him, y'all remember he said that shit whenever the shit happened with Gayle King. Whenever the shit happened with Gayle King and Kobe Bryant, because y'all hold men's images to y'all hearts so heavy. And I know there are a lot of y'all women still to this day that love y'all some Kobe Bryant. But the truth of the matter is Kobe was accused of rape and he died. And y'all really got upset that the rape case was brought up. But it's called an obituary for a reason. Not because we bring up all the good things a person did, but because we look back on their life as a whole. And if that has a huge blind spot, like a fucking rape case that took over the news cycle for a year and some change, I feel like we have to talk about it. And y'all don't have to get online and call Gayle King, a dog-faced bitch like y'all did and threaten her with white women the way Snoop did, not Snoop. Well, I don't know if Snoop said that. I know Ricky Smiley said that. That made me not like Ricky Smiley, because I feel like you can get online and as a grown man that has businesses and in some type of, integrity, there are ways to express your disdain for somebody's choice without going so low to the gutter as to call them a dog-faced bitch on the internet. So, I mean, Kobe apologized. But everybody was like, it was wild. It was wild. Oh my God, he apologized. I feel like Michelle, I feel like that's kind of like, I feel like you might want to like pop that pussy on somebody, right? You may have plans of popping that pussy on somebody. And then it might start to hurt. And you might be like, wait a minute, stop. And then they don't stop. You know what that is? Okay. I'm just gonna say that. And then I'm gonna tell y'all again. When Snoop Dogg decided to sniff cocaine off of Selena Powell's ass, a video of that came out and everybody act like that shit didn't happen. I saw that shit on video. I saw Snoop Dogg laying out doing drugs with Selena Powell. I don't know if y'all know who Selena Powell is. Let me see if I can look it up on the Google and find it for y'all. But ever since this happened, it kind of made me feel like something is wrong with Snoop. And as much as I love him, I have to let him go. I have to let him go. Oh, let's see. Is this Russia? Girl, we can't go to Russia for it. And I think it's because she posted the video, right? Didn't she post the video? Oh, child, let me see. Okay. Hold up. Maybe it's on TikTok. Let's see. There are a whole bunch of videos. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Well, I'm just telling y'all it happened. I saw the video. Like we don't have to argue about it. Like I actually did see the video of it. I just feel like I don't know if it's still available because y'all know how they decide to delete things off the internet as if they never happened. That has happened a lot in recent years. Oh, okay, come on, Lovely T. Let's see. Did Lovely T pull it up at some point? Okay, hold up. I'm just trying to see if I can find it, y'all. If not, I'm gonna just let it slide. But I definitely think let's see. Selena Powell threatens to drop a sex tape after Uncle Snoop pays tribute to his long-suffering wife. Oh, girl. So, and then she dropped it after that, but it just kind of came and went. That's how you know sometimes, even when people think they can threaten these things, nobody cares. Like, nobody actually cares. If you're a woman that nobody cares about, like Selena Powell, then that shit gonna go in one ear and out the other. Nobody's gonna give a fuck that you put out a video on Snoop Dogg because they love Snoop Dogg so much. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, it looked like the video is in other countries. Let me see. Hold up, Instagram.
Great Daddy Day. Want y'all to be on the lookout for my new.
And didn't he have like a side chicks show at some point? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's hard to find now. I think the video that used to be up is hard to find now. Probably in the archives on Twitter. Probably. That's what I was thinking. I'm gonna have to look for that shit, but I don't have time for that right now. We got to move on. But y'all see what I'm saying? I'm not really worrying about Snoop Dogg. To me, if you will lay up with that very childlike looking little white girl, you know, your mentality is not very good as far as I'm concerned. That tells me that you're probably like low key a fucked up human being because you like to cheat on your wife with women that look like little girls in some respect, because to me, Selena Powell looks like a child. Her body. And when men want to have sex with Selena Powell, it makes me feel as if this is their way of legally having sex with somebody whose body reminds them of a teenager. And that's some weird shit. Okay. Also, I have, seen the way Snoop's daughter, has had issues with her self-image and things of that nature. I think that's a reflection of him and how they have maybe responded to light-skinned people, because see, even if you have never said a fucked up word to your dark-skinned daughter, the way you behave around light-skinned women, the way you promote, racially ambiguous women and all of that type of shit, the shit that y'all think y'all kids not listening to, they are listening to. And the way your preferences show up to your kids as a rejection of their blackness. That's usually how that works out. So yeah, I'm not really worried about Snoop. Now, when it comes to Nelly, this then bleeds over into Ashanti's life, because now Ashanti is being caught up in this, and people were online saying, I lost all respect. Nelly, Ashanti, Snoop Dogg, and Chrisette, they are dumb, dumber, and stupid. I was looking forward to Nelly and Ashanti's little reality show. Now I have to cancel him, and even her by association. Nelly and Ashanti over there raising a Trump-loving infant is just it's just very sad. And this could not have been, something that Ashanti wanted, but this, it doesn't matter because that's her man. So what he does affects her. Let me see something. Okay. Okay, so it seems to me that if we were going to really be upset with Nelly, we should be upset with Nelly about some of these allegations against him that have been going on for years. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking through Google right now, and there are a number of stories about, Nelly having, allegations against him and settling with women, with a woman in 2018 over a sexual assault lawsuit. Settling. Usually you can really assume that if they settled, they did that shit. In my mind, sometimes you just want people to be quiet. But if it comes out, once it's already out, like you settling on the back end makes me feel like you did the shit and you just want them to stop before more bleeding is done. Women be saying Ashanti was slow. Now we see 2 peas in a pod. Done with Nelly and Ashanti. Y'all a union, right? Won't be supporting them anymore. Get the Trump supporters to do it. And this is an example of how, a woman was somewhere living her best life on the fucking beach. And y'all kept asking her when she was going to get married and when she was going to have a baby. And she did it. And it was with somebody we wanted her to do it with because it was an ex. And y'all know how we love they came back together and fell in love notebook ass story. Okay. You know how we love that. Well, it seems as if she didn't fell in love with a fucking tweaker. Whether it's for gambling or other things, I feel like Nelly is a tweaker. In his the energy in that interview, how he talks, especially in comparison to how I've seen him be, Nelly has sometimes been an extremely calm individual, like very smooth. So I feel like when you see him acting like this, is because he's starting to break. Like when people be doing certain things for a long time, that shit starts to they're not able to keep their cool as they get older. When you have certain habits, you know what I'm saying? You start to be more manic and not be as calm and still in your body as time gets on if you've done certain things. So, it's one of them times where it looks like, y'all pressured her. She went and got with the nigga y'all thought she should go with, and everything was looking great. And now he's doing things that are going to lessen her brand. They're going to harm her financially in some way. These things happen all the time to women. I'm just saying, I don't see a lot of women hurting men's pockets or their ability to gain money unless those men have harmed those women. Outside of that, just being in a relationship, I don't feel like it be happening like that. I don't think women feeling a way can usually harm some man's business. Just depends. Not like this though. Not in a relationship. At least for me. It don't seem that way. But this is a story we see over and over again. House of Hoodoo, the turkey leg hut. And we'll continue to see examples of men, just not being good for a woman's image once they get, once a woman gets with them. It's not good for a woman's image to be with somebody like Nelly. But you're gonna do what you're gonna do, girl. You're gonna do it. So where do I want to move on to? I feel like we talked about Method Man, right? We talked about the fact that okay. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, y'all. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Let's talk about Justin Baldoni's releases. It ends with us back behind the scenes footage to counter Blake Lively's harassment suit. So y'all, I saw this video. Where is it at? Hold up. So Blake Lively is responding to It Ends With Us footage released by Justin Baldoni's lawyer. Brian Friedman is in an effort to clear his client's name of some of Lively's sexual harassment claims. Also, I feel like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have asked them to put a gag order on Justin Baldoni's lawyer because he's releasing things from what they're presenting to the court, to the media, and it continues to make Blake look like the bad guy in this situation. And listen, y'all, it's coming out. She might actually be the bad guy in this situation. Okay. I'm not tied to it, y'all. I don't care. I just, tell y'all how I feel. And what I really feel is that this might be both a little bit, meaning she might be a weird bitch and he might be a weird ass dude. And what you're watching is two weird ass people be in conflict with one another. Okay. That's what might be the situation. But either way, in a statement to ET, Lively's legal team calls the video damning towards Baldoni and a continuation of their harassment and retaliatory campaign. The 10-minute video features unedited takes of the two filming a slow motion montage scene where their characters, Lily and Ryle, are dancing and supposed to be completely in their own world, according to the script. Lively's legal team says the video shows, hold on, let me go back. Her legal team says the video shows Mr. Baldoni repeatedly leaning in toward Miss Lively, attempting to kissing her forehead, rubbing his face and mouth against her neck, flicking her lips and with his thumb, caressing her, telling her how good she smells, and talking with her out of character. Every moment of this was improvised by Mr. Baldoni with no discussion or consent in advance and no intimacy coordinator present. So I want to talk about the intimacy coordinator right quick, because I feel like there's something we're low-key missing from this whenever I hear it discussed. She didn't care about the intimacy coach because she didn't want to meet with it beforehand. And it's like, so because she didn't meet with them beforehand, does that mean that there shouldn't have been one there? That's one thing, okay? Because to me, just because I didn't meet with him beforehand or meet with them beforehand doesn't mean there shouldn't be one when I arrive on set to film. Just saying. I feel like she definitely might have been being difficult with the way some of these things are expressed about her not coming to have these meetings and, you know, having people come to her and, you know, just doing shit in a way that felt very like, you know, I have a baby and so I can't come. Can they come to me? You know, like that. What else? Every moment of this was improvised by Mr. Baldoni. We saw that any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Miss Lively's discomfort. They will recognize her attempts at levity to try to deflect the unwanted touching. And that's what I wanted to say. So I know a lot of people in the comments are saying that no, she's whining, and I feel two ways. So okay, well, I think it was this one, right? Hold up.
But I think I should start talking. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay,
that moment right there. Okay. I wanted it. Let me see if I can get it to start over.
Yes. Let's do like our lips are right next to each other.
But I think I should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, still rolling.
Don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to them.
Score.
Just keep restraint.
Yeah.
Score.
Just do a little bit of restraint.
Right, come on back.
Okay. So 2 things. She said he had a big nose. It was a joke. To me, what she said in a clip about his nose, that was a fucking joke. She didn't tell him he needed to get a nose job. It was a joke. I don't know why people are always taking Blake Lively's dry humor. Like they're not, usually when she's doing that and people are like, oh, she's being a bitch. It's like a fucking joke. Like, I don't know why everybody doesn't catch that she has dry humor, but that's not even the point here. The point here for me is that in the moment when he goes to like go close to her, he said he wants their mouths together. And she says, why don't we just talk? Yeah, let's just talk. You know what I'm saying? To me, that was showing I'm uncomfortable with how close you are. So now I want to kind of deflect and do something else that can still get the point across. And then she tells him, yeah, they want it. Don't give it to them. The idea of not kissing so that you don't have to like showcase, you know, oh, you don't have to give it to him. You don't get, yeah, it seemed as if she was trying to keep him from doing something that she didn't want him to do by saying that it would help the scene. That's what that seemed like to me. He's a director, so you hear him telling them what he wants them to get shots of, and then they move on to the next thing. But I also feel like, Blake, why were you willing to do this movie if kissing him and doing these things makes you uncomfortable? And then that's why I have to ask, you know, is there truth to some of the other accusations? Him talking about certain things, him bursting into the room. Like a lot of the things that he said in opposition don't answer the question, like busting into the room. She said y'all was busting into the room without knocking while she was breastfeeding. He posted a text message saying that, oh yeah, her saying to him, we can meet up. I'm just breastfeeding. So when she sends that message, it seems as if she's okay with him coming in while she's breastfeeding. But I'm like, but that doesn't mean just bust in. That doesn't mean just walk in. That means knock. So to me, y'all see how he offered up an explanation, but that doesn't exactly say that didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? And then when it comes to this, for the rest of this, y'all, I can agree. She doesn't look uncomfortable. But at the beginning, when he said, I want our mouths together, and they start the scene, and then she still says, well, maybe we should just talk. To me, that was showcasing she didn't want that to happen. Now, it could be because she's uncomfortable, or it could be because Ryan Reynolds might have been on set and she could have been uncomfortable with him seeing. I don't fucking know. You would think that actors know how to handle these things, like Jada and Will. My God. You know what I'm saying? Get your life together. Y'all are actors. And that's another thing I feel about Blake. Blake, why would you sign on to do this romantic movie if you were not okay with these moments where he is trying to, improv this moment that should be romantic? Like, you should be okay with him, doing these certain things, because that's what's going to make the scene happen. So I'm just like, why would you even sign on to do this? Why would you even sign on to do this if you were so uncomfortable with all of these things? So yeah, I just feel like it's a lot that doesn't make sense. I am a little bit more in the middle now, and I'm fine with that, because I like Justin Baldoni when he was on when he was on when he was on Jane the Virgin. I liked his character. But you don't know people personally. And to me, when I look at some of the other factors in this situation that aren't just coming from him, I have to wonder, you know what I mean? So that means everybody was just lying because they were scared of Ryan and Blake. That's a possibility. But people still, because he posted text messages and people were saying one thing to him, but then they come out and say a whole nother thing online. So I feel like there's something to be said for something being wrong. You know what I'm saying? Something being wrong on different fronts. You know what I mean? And I feel like, what if he was being a creep in real life to her that made it hard for her to see these types of moments as innocent? That's another thing I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, if nobody has ever been inappropriate with you, y'all do a scene like this, you don't have a reason to think that they're doing something that's not, directly connected to the character. But if they had an inappropriate interaction off camera and then they come on camera and this stuff is happening, then, it can seem like, okay, now I'm a tad bit uncomfortable. So I want to say this. I recognize that Blake is also coming off like a liar in this situation, but I'm also paying attention to the way that Justin is presenting information that doesn't exactly dispel everything. It doesn't. It offers a different perspective, but it doesn't really change anything. And another thing, I'm sorry, y'all. I looked at that Amber Heard documentary. I know a lot of y'all say, she absolutely shitted in his bed and all of that. But I'm like, y'all don't have any evidence of that. In the way that was presented in the documentary, it almost felt like something he said because it's something that he would do and then blame it on her to make her look crazy. I also feel like people are negating the fact that with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, even though you hear her saying crazy shit to him, he's recording her. So if you have a problem with Bambi recording Scrappy because you felt like that was a setup, then why don't y'all have the same mentality when it came to him recording Amber Heard and what she was saying? Also, he had a drug problem. Like, he outwardly expressed having a drug problem and being volatile. So I think it's low-key weird the way everybody keeps saying, oh, it's like Amber Heard, which kind of then makes it seem as if it's all a lie and she's just making it up for attention. But I think if anybody was really paying attention to the shit that happened with Amber Heard, they would know that it wasn't that simple. What really came out of that is that they both did shit to each other. That's what came out of the trial. That when I saw the documentary, what I got from it was that they both did shit to each other, to the point that people felt like that basically erased everything that he had done because they both did shit to each other. So I just kind of feel like I don't even like that comparison, because those two people were in like a long-term, 2-year some change relationship. And he had done things that I felt like were abusive. The shit that happened on a plane that somebody else said happened as well. Yeah, like, people are acting like he never abused her. He never did the shit that she said that he did. And he did do it. There was some of the things that Johnny absolutely did do. I swear Bondi be on a different planet. And most of y'all be wrong a lot of the time. I'll be on another planet. I'll be on another planet. I think what I have is critical thinking skills, and I'm able to look at situations with my feelings not involved because I really don't give a fuck. I think a lot of y'all automatically get emotionally involved. And I'm not even really defending the women. I'm just saying, why do you adopt the mentality that because the women also did something, that means the men did nothing wrong and the women are liars? That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as her doing this to him and him doing this to her. Her doing something to him does not erase everything he did to her. It means they were doing shit to each other, which I will accept. And I feel like that makes more sense if you saw the documentary or you saw anything on the court case. It would make more sense to admit that they both did things. But to act as if the examples of Amber Heard doing her abusive shit means that Johnny Depp didn't do anything at all and she's a liar. Yeah, no. So I feel like this situation, I am still somewhat in the middle, but I am paying attention. And I say this all the time. You have to pay attention to the way people fight and how they fight and what they're saying and how that actually covers what's being accused here. Okay? Because there are some things that he says that does kind of make her look like a liar, like you're cutting out information. I don't know, Blake Lively. I don't give a fuck. You can definitely be a bitchy ass white lady. You can be. You can be a Karen. I don't give a fuck. But I also have to point out that when I am reading how he is responding, it's not answering every question in order to make me feel like she's completely lying about everything. That's what I'm saying. A 23-year age gap and him being fully on drugs doesn't make you a jolly drug addict. I forgot about that age gap. That was another thing. Like you were purposefully getting in that relationship thinking that you were going to like mentally best that young woman. And I imagine that on some level she might have been just as strategic as he was. And that bothers people. Whenever y'all see women be strategic about, shit like getting evidence on how they've been abused, you like automatically assume they're now like faking the abuse because they knew in real time, I should record this because this nigga is fucking me up and people are going to act like I'm lying if I ever say it's happening to me. Like, you think women don't think that? This is what y'all do online. Y'all erase all of the things that men did if y'all like them. Let me see. Nicole Online, thank you for the super chat. This was good commentary on the situation with Blake and Justin. Thank you. Because I really don't understand everything. I don't, and I'm not pretending to, but I'm just saying I don't like when y'all compare it to the Amber Heard situation because it really makes it seem like Amber Heard just lied about everything she said. And the whole reason why they had the case was about what she said in that article. And what she said in the article wasn't a lie. Like, if you had at any point abused her, she can say that she was in an abusive relationship. Like, you wanting to sue based on that, like, to me, if you did something abusive, she can say that you abused her. Like, it's not a lie. Therefore, I don't know how you could say it was defamation. Anyway, moving on from Blake Lively, we'll see what goes on with the white people, y'all. Let's move on to black people. So, y'all, somebody AI'd Sexyy Red in a picture with Dr. Martin Luther King, like they was dancing on a dance floor, girl. They was getting real close, right? When you mugging lying. And so Bernice King, Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, said, "This is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful to my family and my father, who is not here to respond himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil and human rights and to end war and poverty. Please delete." Bernice, are we a little bit triggered? Because we know our dad liked the hoes? And this basically depicts Martin Luther King liking what people, see as a image of the hoes. Y'all know, y'all see Sexyy Red not as a human, but as an image of the young women who are whores and deplorable, right? Y'all see her as a representation of something, not a real person. So her being in a picture as a representation of slutty young women of this generation, everybody feels like this is distasteful. And I'm just like, they're dancing and he's looking at her. But I think what you're really upset about is the insinuation that your daddy would like a whore. And historically, what we have heard and what the FBI wanted to put out about the young man was that he used to be on the phone with a whole bunch of hoes. That's something else that y'all, y'all stupid ass president wanted to do. He wants to take the privacy off of the FBI files about Martin Luther King and all of them, the civil rights leaders, as to like just open up all of those people's secrets bare. I guess that will then like denigrate them to the public. Like if you take all of the heroes that people have, that have actual like good, they were on a good side of history. You want to dismantle their images. And I guess that's supposed to dismantle what they fought for. I don't know, child. Because to me, it seems as if it don't really matter. The man was definitely out here on the phone. The man was definitely out here on the phone with some hoes now. Okay, so I think it's really not that much of a stretch that if Martin Luther King was, our age during this time, okay, he might have secretly been laying up with a woman that he would never marry, because guess what a lot of men do? Wasn't it debunked by Coretta herself? Yeah, I'm sorry. The wife can't tell me that the husband didn't cheat. The wife is the person that cannot tell me that the husband, girl, you can't tell us that. You can't tell us that, ma'am. I love you. I love you for real. And I feel like Martin Luther King should be respected for what he did. I also feel like y'all be getting real triggered about how people are nuanced and human. And yes, they could want civil rights and still very much enjoy hoochie coochie. I'm sorry, y'all. The man can want civil rights and have a dream and also like the hoochie coochie, different hoochie coochies. Child, if y'all let history tell it, that man didn't even want black women, and they made him marry Coretta because she was more suitable for the image they were trying to portray. Like, please understand, the civil rights movement was also a place of theater, a place that people are being idealistic and they have to promote something in order for it to become tangible. That's what a lot of people fail to understand. Like in real time, you have to be able to envision it in order for it to actually come into fruition. And I think the people back then that were crafting the civil rights movement, and that is beyond Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was somebody that was a face of, but there were a whole bunch of people behind the scenes that crafted the images of the people used for their images. So understand, the image is just a projection of what they want you to see. Everybody is always a person underneath the image that's being projected. Okay, they're a person, meaning that the same things that weaken most people, the same things that weaken most men, would weaken them as well. That's all. Please don't project your thoughts onto me. I don't believe Sexyy Red to be a degenerate, ghetto, or trash. I have spoken out in the past about the use of, in comparison to either of my parents, to denigrate other people. I just don't understand this type of use of my father's image on MLK Day, no less, in a way that does not convey what we know to be true about his service and sacrifice. Even if you disagree with him or with his tactics, or even believe things said about him by people who hated him, why do this? Because people think it's funny. That's why. Because people have terrible sense of humor, are immature, and they think that putting these two opposing images in the same picture would get a response. And it did. Sexyy Red didn't do this to her, herself. Okay. I also feel like they're dancing. Like, it's not like, like some of them pictures that y'all be posting during MLK every year, where he holding up money and jewelry and, middle finger. Like, it's a lot of stuff that y'all post of MLK that I find distasteful. This definitely wasn't at the top of the list. I'm so sorry, y'all. His legacy still matter. We tearing down MLK now over rumors. It's not rumors. Just because y'all refuse to believe shit doesn't mean it's rumors. As I said in my commentary, maybe it was lost upon some of y'all. There are phone conversations. Okay? Like, there are phone conversations. And to be honest with y'all, when you really look back at it, that doesn't, to me, the only thing that really brings light to is how even the men who y'all find so respectable, they really didn't respect women. They respected women in public, but they didn't respect women in private. And I feel like that's what we saw in the civil rights movement. And we really saw that in present times when women are still the ones that stand on the front lines, as some of the men have decided to glide into the back, into the bushes. Now that they thought that they got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Which was the freedom to have whatever women that they wanted to have. Yes, that's another thing. Misogyny has always been prevalent. I need people to be able to understand that things can all be happening at the same time, and it's not as bad as you think it is. Yes, it is, I think, true, because we've heard it way too many times. And then for there to be actual like phone recordings that allege these conversations, which I believe are real, because they were taping him. They were taping a lot of the civil rights movement people back in the day. They were taping the jazz artists. Like, they were heavily investigating them. That's how the Black Panther Party got broken up and everybody ended up getting on drugs or government jobs or in jail. Like, they very much were studying and infiltrating the civil rights movement, the people that were in it, and the musicians that were helping, right? Like, this was something that the FBI was very much involved. There's a whole movie about them sending young Black men into these spaces as musicians in order to infiltrate. FBI agents masquerading as musicians so that they can report back what the Black people were doing so that they could use it against them. And y'all, I feel like, are falling into that by allowing something like a person, you know, enjoying having sex with a whole bunch of different people, like, you know, or a whole bunch of different women, whatever. You will allow that to what? Make you feel like now he didn't do the things that he did to push us forward? You see what I'm saying? We could be real about that part of him and still respect and accept how he sacrificed himself for us moving forward. I feel like we can, those two things can be true at the same time. And I think everybody needs to get more realistic and more comfortable with recognizing that there are no perfect people, not even your heroes, which means they have done things that you may consider wrong or bad or classless. And when those things are brought up, it's okay to acknowledge that it is true, but then also that it doesn't change the fact that that person still has a legacy of fighting and putting his life on the line for the civil rights of the people around him. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't change. Yes, you can be a hero and a whore. You can. I feel like there are probably women out in the street that do it every day. There are women out in the street every day that go and, you know, be out here in the streets and they help the young girls that they see. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lord, y'all saw us more fires, huh? All right. Chris Brown files lawsuit against producers of Investigation Discovery. Domestic violence documentary on him. Singer is seeking $500 million in damages. Let's see. TMZ reports Chris Brown has filed this lawsuit. Okay, so he filed a lawsuit, but I'm wondering how that's all going to play out. And the only reason I say that is because it's not like I would like to see what you're saying is a lie. That's what I would like. What are you referring to as a lie? Let's see. The superstar just hit Ample LLC and Warner Brothers with a $500 million lawsuit over their messy documentary, Chris Brown, A History of Violence. According to Chris, the film is full of lies and was made to make him look bad. Here's the tea. The documentary, which dropped in October 2024, brings up old accusations, including claims of sexual assault and evidence tampering. Chris says it's all cap and that the filmmakers knew it but ran with it anyway for clout. One of the biggest issues with Deja Chantel Frank, who made the accusations that were shut down in court years ago, Chris's team says the producers left out the part where she has her own history of domestic violence because apparently facts don't sell drama. And you know what, Chris? I feel like they absolutely could have showcased her history of domestic violence alongside yours. Why do you think if hers was presented, that would then erase yours? Maybe because people like to think that if the victim isn't perfect, she wasn't victimized. Maybe because in a lot of, weren't we just talking about that? How y'all assume that Amber Heard, y'all have now made Amber Heard the poster child for lying on a man, when in essence, when you actually look at what happened, she was not lying about everything. And one of the main things that she said he did to her was what, kicking her in the back or something like that when they were on a plane. Another person texted her and validated that that was something that happened, and Johnny was tripping out because he was high. You see how you see how all he has to say is bring up her shit, and then y'all bring up her shit, and now everybody will act like he ain't never did none of the shit he did. Okay. Chris lawyers aren't playing either. They say this documentary seriously damages his reputation, and now it's time to pay up. And Chris says if he wins, he's donating some of that money to help survivors of sexual abuse. That is diabolical. For now, Chris wants his fans to remember his 2017 documentary, Welcome to My Life, as the real story about his life and growth. One thing's for sure, Breezy isn't letting this slide without a fight. That's cool. That's cool. Fight it. Absolutely fight it. And I hope that the people that you're fighting, and I think that they are, Warner Brothers LLC, you can't trust that people will fact check their stories these days. You really can't. So fine, go ahead and sue, and I want to see how they counter. I want to see what specific things you are calling lies. Because bringing up that a woman who accused you of assaulting her also has a history of domestic violence does not negate that you committed it against her. Like that doesn't dispute that. I don't understand how it damaged his reputation either, because he sold out a tour. I don't get it. I feel like he's having a temper tantrum because some people refuse to see him as anything other than, a crazy nigga that beat on women. Like, he's successful and people love him, but I guess he's trying to act as if he's not successful because they won't let you perform at certain award shows. That also has a lot to do with how you are a hothead and a liability. Isn't Chris Brown one of those artists that likes to walk around with security that's also gang members? Because if I'm recalling correctly, I feel like, that becomes a liability if you have a history of you and your security guards beating people up at venues where you're getting paid to perform. If shit like that is going to happen, then venues aren't going to want to insure you. Like, award shows are not going to want to insure you because it's a live broadcast. That's, what I mean? I feel like when we really think about these things in terms of, logistics, the reason why Chris Brown can't get into certain places to perform is because he is volatile. And outside of what goes on with women, people can't always trust that he won't fight anybody or his security won't fight anybody. So I just, based on things that have happened. So to me, girl, yeah, I just kind of feel like, I just kind of feel like we'll see how this goes. Like, I think he's more so upset about not being able to perform at certain award shows and stuff, like, not being able to do Michael Jackson tributes and shit. I'm sure things he always envisioned for himself, but people have to understand that the things that you do have long lasting consequences, and you don't get to just absolve yourself through illusion and time. People are still going to feel how they're going to feel about you, especially if it's something that, is repetitive. But he's suing, so I want to see how it's all going to play out, y'all. He might actually be able to get out of this situation. Okay. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. I forgot that Sexyy Red issued an apology. She said, "You ain't wrong. Never meant to disrespect your family. My apologies. Just reposted something I saw that I thought was innocent, because it really wasn't something that serious. Like, it wasn't like she was naked and they were fucking or something like that. Why is that her Abby? But I did appreciate her apologizing as just to not have a disrespectful discord with, Martin Luther King daughter. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to have no discourse on the internet with Martin Luther King daughter. You know what I mean? So I do feel like, that showcases sometimes that Sexyy Red is not as much of a bad person as y'all try to make it seem. Because I think there are a lot of young men out there who y'all won't say promotes, the sexualized thing, but they might still be disrespectful to their elders. Okay. Not the whore having morals. Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know why everybody gets so caught up. Feeling like, I can't, like, throw my pussy around, but then also, like, be like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay. I don't know. I feel like she was being right, because she said, you ain't wrong. Like, you ain't wrong. You right. You right. You know what it is? People assume you're not gonna see shit like that. That's what it is. Like, I think people really think the internet is just so vast that's not gonna make it back to his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't think she was gonna see that. You know what I mean? For example, Carlos Miller. Why you say that? What about Carlos? Y'all know I love me some Carlos Miller, but he be scaring me sometimes. Talk about people I love that be scaring me. Y'all, who told Devonte that this little ponytail was what he should do? This is how you know something wrong with him. Like, look at this man. This was a beautiful man, y'all. Just such a beautiful man. And he has dark eyes, dark energy, weird ass energy. And a lot of times when people like this, I feel like their inner demons eat them alive. And it just showcases in the way they walk around. Like, and one of the ways that his inner demons are eating him alive is through his hair. Like, this is another sign that you aren't being real with yourself too. That's another thing. Like that. Remember, like JJ on Bell Collective, a signifier that people are not being real with themselves, meaning that they're not gonna be real with you. Meaning that if you don't know your hair thin and you walking around us like you got long, luxurious locks in these little ponytails and shit. Listen. Okay. Listen. Ooh, oh, wait, y'all saying she was playing with that man? Wait a minute. Let me go back. I'm going to have to edit this together for the BondyBlue bites, bitch. Wait a minute. Let me go to Sexyy Red page and see if she was really just being an asshole. Let me see. Get it, sassy. Hey, get it, sassy. Let's see. Y'all know I think her music is terrible. Let me see. I don't see it. Was it in the stories? Let me see. Bruno and Sexyy. Child, if it was up there, it's gone now. If it was up there, it's gone now, because I don't see it. I don't see it. But let's get back to Devonte Swing. Y'all, I'm happy to hear this, but that does not mean... Okay, I'm happy to hear this, but this doesn't mean that he didn't do some shit. Like, I want to be very clear, right? Devonte Swing, a member of the iconic R&B group and my favorite, Jodeci, okay? Casey, JoJo, Devonte, oh yeah. Okay, I come from the era of high school where people just really would yell that across the hallway. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, you would just randomly do KC or JoJo's runs. Oh yeah. Okay, we that's what we did when I was going to school. You know, you're everything I am. Oh yeah. Do what you want me to. I would do anything, get on my knees for you. Oh, baby. What else is there to do? I don't know, but I'll cry. Lady, I cry for you tonight. This little ponytail. Okay, on January 15th, the plaintiff, Liza Gardner, we talked about her, filed a notice of voluntary dismissal against Swing, leading to the formal withdrawal of all charges. The dismissal was filed without prejudice, leaving room for potential refiling in the future. The original lawsuit alleged that Swing was present during the assault and failed to intervene. An amended version of the lawsuit stated, unbeknownst to Ms. Gardner at the time, defendant Swing was in the room when this assault took place and did not take any steps to prevent this abuse from occurring. What? So at the time, and then she found out later because somebody told her. Like, I need the backstory. Y'all be making it hard to believe y'all because y'all don't be giving it. Like, we need the breakdown. Like, how did you not know? Especially when I thought that a part of the story was that Devonte was the one that recruited the girl. Like, he brought her in a room, left, and then Diddy and Aaron Hall came, or they were, something like that. And Devonte just kind of into the trees like Homer Simpson. Oh, girl, but they dropped the case against him. That's because he ain't got no money. I wonder if he said something, though. I wonder if they dropped it because he said something. Like, you don't just drop it for no reason, right? I wonder why they dropped it. Obviously, this is like a he said, she said. So I never would think like there would be enough evidence in the first place. You would just have to prove that the shit didn't happen the way they say it happened, or they would be doing this for a point. And I have to wonder if the point of them doing this was to get information from him about Diddy and if he gave that information, and so they dropped the charges. That's what I would wonder. That's what I would wonder. I don't know because y'all know it's so convoluted. To be very clear, things involving Diddy, there is one thing that is an FBI case. He's been arrested and put in jail, federal jail, for a RICO charge. That's one thing. The other stuff is multiple people coming out and suing him civilly for crimes against humanity. Okay, this is what they say. So these are two separate things that are occurring simultaneously. So people are often combining those two things and acting like, oh, how are they going to approve this when we don't believe nothing these people are saying? It's like these people's story has nothing to do with what the RICO charge is. That RICO charge is based on two people for sure's testimony, Dawn and Rodney. Dawn and Rodney. Those are the two people. And let's not forget, Rodney had a lot of video evidence. Remember that, y'all? Remember Rodney told y'all when his lawsuit was printed up and put out that he had video to back up his claims? And then we see a RICO charge being filed using him, Dawn, and Cassie. I'm sorry. Cassie, Dawn, and Rodney. Those are the three people whose, testimonies about Diddy are being used in his RICO case. As far as we know. So just because you have not seen videos on the internet, that does not mean those videos have not been presented in this case. So that's another thing. This case has not gone to trial yet. So we as the public don't know what evidence the FBI actually has. We don't. We only know something based on what we've seen from these civil suits. The civil suits of those three people are tied to the RICO case. But that doesn't mean that we know what evidence the FBI have against Diddy, because we really don't. Yes, we know what Cassie said. We know what Dawn said. We know what Rodney said. And we know that those things were taken to push this whole RICO charge, forward. I need for y'all to understand that it is also, RICO charges are basically illegal things happening across state lines and in a business-like organization, right? So very simply, you have a assistant that picks up a girl, and then you have a guy that picks up some drugs. They all get on the same jet and they fly to you. And now you are paying to have sex with this girl. You're going to drug her. Okay. You might bring in some other prostitutes, fly them over state lines. So understand, you've now paid for drugs in humans to be brought over state lines. That being done habitually in an organizational manner, meaning with several people aiding you in doing so, is a RICO charge, y'all. Trafficking across state lines, trafficking across country lines, like in and out of the country, all of that, y'all, is RICO charges, y'all. It is basically trafficking humans and or drugs across state lines. That's what that's about. Okay. Yes, y'all pray for Jennifer. Y'all pray for Jennifer. Y'all pray for the people in California. They got new wildfires. Y'all pray for everybody, y'all. Just put your overall, if you got goodness in your spirit in your heart, girl, just try to push it out as much as you can. Be nice when you can. You know what I'm saying? Just in life, try to be kinder to people if you possibly can. If you have the patience and the wherewithal and you could take a deep breath, going around in your everyday life, just handling people with the type of care you wish that you would be handled with will go a long way. So y'all pray, okay? We hope everything is okay. All of my people, Jennifer and all of my other people that have sicknesses, and during this time of the year, things get difficult, and who knows what we about to be going through, child, and how hard it's going to be for people to get the shit that they need. Anyway, let's move on. Y'all, Lamar Odom reveals drugs were slipped into his drink before his near-fatal overdose in 2015. That's wild. Let me see what it says. The former NBA star reiterated his previous claims that he didn't use drugs, insisting that he believes the drugs were slipped into his drink at the Nevada brothel. I don't know what they were able to slip into my drink. I don't really remember because I was in a coma. I'm sorry, Lamar. I can't really believe you. I can't really believe you. And the reason why I say I can't really believe you is because you had a history of drug use. Your father was a drug addict. Like, it kind of runs in your family. I feel like one of the reasons why you and Chloe broke up is because of your drug use. So to come and tell us that you were not in a brothel getting high. Also, wasn't there video evidence of him doing drugs in the brothel? Like, wasn't there video in the brothel? Because it was one of them legal brothels. So I don't know. I feel like this is a lie. Okay. All right, girl. Y'all better go down to the clinics and get what y'all need. The ice is finally, drying up on the streets, y'all. The snow is going. But they said we might have another something coming next week or at the beginning of February. Girl, I don't know. I'm worried. Girl, I'm worried, girl. But Lamar, we don't believe you, Lamar. I don't believe you. I don't know why you still talking to us about this. To me, unless you're about to file charges or speculate on who might have done this to you, I can't really believe you, sir. All right. Okay, let's move on. Jeannie Mai calls police after allegedly being blocked from retrieving belongings at Jeezy's home months after their divorce. Okay, before we get into this very last story, can everybody please go to BondyBlue Bites and subscribe to my secondary channel? Y'all will love it, okay? Because it's small versions of these topics, so you can literally click on whichever ones you want to hear about and not click on shit you don't care about. So please do me a favor, follow that. Also, don't forget to follow Reset by Design Wellness, okay? It is a luxury traveling group that I am a part of, and I'm so excited about all the girlies that are coming through. We are going to Bali in July of 2025 this year. I cannot wait. I feel like it is going to be much needed by the time we get there to be able to leave America and not be here for a few days. And in all honesty, if we were able to actually sell that second Bali trip, then I would be in Bali for 2 weeks. I would love that. But y'all didn't sign on for the second one. So, I'm sad about that. But yeah, y'all, don't forget Reset by Design Wellness. Sign up, check out the Instagram page, stay abreast, because we travel every year. This is going to be our third trip. We've been to Ghana, we've been to Thailand, and now we're going to Bali. Okay. I can't wait for us to crack South America open because I have yet to travel there, and I would love to go to some places in Brazil. Okay. I'm putting that out there, Ty. I'm putting it out there. I think I saw one of my girlies in the chat. I think Talia is in here. Shout out to my girl Talia. I don't know if Sharice is in here, but I feel like I just seen Sharice's name recently. So hey y'all, love y'all. Okay. Did you like the video? Okay. All right. So Jeannie Mai. Girl, they make me tired. These are two exhausting human beings, if you ask me. And I really do feel like she should have chose better. But I also feel like you don't know what you don't know. I think that we always feel like, the things we don't know might be better. Or we might have a better experience. And child, the way Black women be acting over these niggas, I can understand why the other women are always. Girl, let me tell you. I don't know if y'all watch the Golden Girls like I watch the Golden Girls, but there are like episodes of the Golden Girls where Sophia will ask questions about Black men in bed just to showcase how much white women of other ethnicities wanted to know what the dick was like from Black men, because Black women been up here talking about how Black men been breaking our backs and all of that, Mendingo dick and all of this shit. So it is very much a part of the the conversation amongst other ethnicities of people that Black men are, dicking the girls down. Okay. And they want that. They want it, especially if they haven't experienced it. They want it. And it can be dangerous if you've never had it and you don't know how to think clearly. Girl. And Blanche, yes, Blanche was always the one that was accidentally letting y'all know that she had some Black meat and y'all just didn't know about it. But then had the nerve to turn around and say, Big Daddy was a Republican, when she found out Big Daddy was fucking her nanny, who was who come on, our girl, not Ozzy Davis' wife. Why am I spacing? I hate when that happens. Okay, but Blanche's nanny child, okay, was out here messing around with Republican Ruby D. Thank you. Ruby D was Blanche's nanny and had came through looking for a music box. Okay. But I feel like there is something to be said for like other ethnicities of women that are curious about our men, just as I feel like Black women are curious what it is like to be the kept white women or the kept Iranian or Arab or Asian, whatever. You wonder what it's like to grow up with these men that can afford you access and lifestyles. And all you got to do is watch movies and read fucking books. Girl, me and Lyric call ourselves trying to watch Mrs. Doubtfire. And I'm like, the way Robin Williams plays the character of every other nigga that might love their kids, but they're irresponsible, and the mother always has to come in and be the discipline, and the daddy get to be the good guy. Child, if that's not something that's prevalent in Black community as well. I think just because we box ourselves off, we don't recognize how much of the things we go through are universal and not just Black people problems. Like one of the first things I see in comments all the time from people, oh, it's other ethnicities, they don't drag they people down like this. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, the fuck they do. Every ethnicity, every group of people will find somebody inside their own group to dislike, to bully. Yes, yes, yes. Even amongst, have y'all never watched Mean Girls? This is the clique of Mean Girls, and one of them is meaner to all of the other fucking girls. Like, this should not be lost upon anybody. People absolutely do all of this shit today saying, yes, Judge Judy, bitch, all they do is sue each other. Y'all wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't Black. Shit. It's just easier to do to Black people. That's why it happens so much, because it's easier. Easier to point the finger at us. We a scapegoat for a lot of people. Historically, it's always been that way. That's why we have such a crazy history when it comes to police and white women and all of that shit, because white men would be out here beating the shit out their wives and killing them and all of that, and then want to blame some Black man that came through town with big Black dick, and now y'all didn't, kill the whole Florida town looking for, non-existent big dick nigga that just came through town and fucked your wife or some shit. Like, child. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get back into it, okay? On December 9th, 2024, Jeanie visited Jeezy's Georgia home to collect personal belongings, but had to call the police after being denied access, according to court documents obtained by In Touch. Jeezy had packed Jeannie's items, including awards, photos, and clothing, into boxes stored in his garage. However, Jeanie alleged his house manager, under Jeezy's orders, refused entry despite a court order allowing her retrieval. Police informed the house manager the order was being violated, but further obstacles arose, including demands for a non-disclosure agreement. What? Why the fuck would she need to sign a non-disclosure agreement to come and pick her stuff up? What's going on in that house? When Jeanie finally accessed the garage, she found her belongings damaged by water and mice. Man, niggas ain't shit. Jeannie's awards were broken and scratched. Her lawyer noted Jeanie denied being revengeful, accusing Jeezy of contempt for disregarding court orders. A judge has yet to rule on the matter. I know there gonna be people in the comments blaming her, but in this story, it sounds like that nigga knew that eventually she was gonna have to come and get shit, and you put it in a garage and you wet it and then left it there. People do shit like that all of the time because once it's been wet, it starts to mildew. Also, what type of house do you have where y'all have mice? That house must be nasty. That house must be nasty if y'all have mice. I'm just saying, y'all, it's not easy to like what kind of house do you have where y'all have mice? It's a mansion in the middle of a neighborhood. Y'all don't have neighborhood cats. Like, how do you have mice? You would have to be nasty and dirty to have mice in a nice house. That's what I would assume. She was over 6 months past the date that she was required to get those items. Okay, got it. So she was late picking it up. Got it. Just like he was late paying that money that he was supposed to pay for the school and all of that. I don't know. Really? That's interesting. All right, Eddie, listen. Listen. Mice are everywhere. I haven't seen not one in my house. Now, I had one when I lived in an apartment complex, but I've seen roaches. I've like not little roaches, those big roaches from outside. Okay, we spray. Madonna was nasty. I need for y'all to understand that rich people can be trifling. If you live in the woods or around woods, you will have all kinds of things. Oh, you think so? Mice isn't an indication of uncleanliness. Oh, is that right? Is that right? Is that what y'all think? Okay. Well, I'll just say this. I live, what is this? I live 3 or 4 blocks away from a levee, which has a, huge area of water. Right over the levee is the forest. When I drive out onto the main road, the whole thing is trees and forest. Yesterday, me and Lyric drove to the end of our street so that we can go and see how the snow looked in the woods across the canal. And so, and this is right here. No, rats are everywhere in NYC. In the city, it's different. In the city, you could not be dirty and have mice because you live in an apartment complex or you live somewhere that is close to somewhere where there's a lot of food. I live in what someone would call a cul-de-sac. Like I live in a neighborhood, meaning that we don't have mice because either people aren't really nasty and dirty as much as you would think. We have cats in our neighborhood that everybody kind of maintains. I think they keep mice away. I've been living in this house for 10 years. I've been living in this house for 10 years, y'all. And I feel like when you yes, and that's another thing. Snakes, lizards. Y'all, we have lizards all over the place. Lizards are not a sign of people being dirty. But people having mice in a house that is not connected to anything and not across the street or down the block from a restaurant, you have no reason to have mice. We have gardens in our neighborhood, so it attracts mice. Okay. That might be a thing. That might be a thing. I'll give you that. Okay, we have 11 acres and we get mice and snakes all the time in the house. Okay, so it sounds like y'all need to, have somebody come in there and make sure y'all ain't got no holes and shit. Listen, okay, now y'all have now told me that you don't have to be nasty to have mice in a nice house. Okay, that's good to know. And I'm glad that whatever that is that y'all got going on, I don't have it. Okay, I'm so like appreciative of the fact that that's not something I deal with, because that would creep me the fuck out. And I lived in an apartment complex where I had mice before. One mice came in there, child. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. Okay, when we lived, in a trailer that was across from the because the house wasn't as insulated. The house wasn't as insulated. But I'm just saying, I assumed that Jeannie and Jeezy would live in like a neighborhood. I'm assuming they would live behind a gate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they would have a lot of grass around their house, but I'm just assuming they would live in a neighborhood and not somewhere in the middle of the fucking woods. I could be wrong. I don't know where Jeezy lives, but I'm going to just say I have not regularly seen mice running around people's houses if their houses weren't nasty. If they didn't have like open food containers around all the time, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying I'm always super, super clean and all of that, but yeah, I'm glad that's not something that I have to often deal with, child. But if you're in the French Quarter, you're gonna have mice. That's you're close to things, you know. Oh Lord. Having mice is a health hazard. That's what I would assume. Entry points. They're opportunistic. They like warmth, food, stored properly. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like a lot of y'all are just trifling and don't want to admit it. Not y'all shaming people for mice coming into their homes. No, it's not shaming people for having mice. It's shaming people for being trifling. Some of y'all are trifling. Okay. I said what the fuck I said. I said what I thought. I set my recording for tomorrow, but if I set it for today by accident, I'll fix it. It's supposed to be for tomorrow. You think he'd have money not to? I mean, I would, because you spray, right? People don't spray. No, small roaches are a sign of people being trifling. Them little bitty ones that be crawling all on the walls, and man, I done been people how shit growing on the TV and shit. It's nasty. It's okay to say you didn't know without the shade. I mean, it's okay to say it however I say it, because it's really not that serious. You do realize that, right? I can say it however I want to say it. And what I will say is, I'm sorry, I was not expecting there to be mice in somebody's nice house in a neighborhood. No. Knowing that there are mice in cities, knowing that there may be mice in the country, like where you have barns and shit. Absolutely. I could understand that. That was not lost upon me. I was imagining a specific setting when it came to these people's houses, which I would imagine was a bigger, cleaner version of mine. Okay. Like, and I'm just saying that because it's a house, a 2-story house in a neighborhood next to other houses, right? That's what I was assuming, baby. At the end of the day, this is not to shame anybody, but some of y'all are trifling. And if you feel shame about that, like shame. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like y'all just being real sensitive right now. Like, this is Jeannie and Jeezy we talking about. I can't say I'm shocked that these rich people have mice. My God. My God. I like, it's not a moment where you should like internalize it. You know what I mean? I told y'all I had a mouse when I lived in the apartment. Does that mean my apartment wasn't clean? No, it means somebody else's apartment wasn't clean. Maya, what's up, my girl? Yup, Rosa Parks was also an image due to her complexion. There was a different woman or multiple that had refused to give up their seats before or right around when Rosa Parks had her incident. Absolutely. Thank you, Talia, for the super chat. You are absolutely right. Faith is all we need. Thank you for the super chat. Martin Luther the King Bondi. You know that's how I say that man's name. Okay. Kimmy Kim, thank you for the super chat. Let them know, Bondi. Listen, Linda. Y'all niggas out here mad about Bondi. Listen, I have a mouse right now. That's my best friend, bitch. I'm like Michael Jackson, bitch. I've named him. It's okay, y'all. It's okay. I'm not like really being like elitist or anything. I grew up around people that were poor and still very clean, but they're always like extremely dirty people. They're always extremely dirty people, y'all. Have y'all never watched those shows about people hoarding? Like people are nasty, y'all. Like it's okay. It is okay. And I really need for y'all to stop taking y'all very extreme versions of life out in the middle of the fucking wilderness with the birds and Snow White and the seven dwarfs and your deers and your squirrels. And, girl, yeah, like we have opossums dead on the street too. And I still have not seen a mouse in this house. And I don't want to say anything because then I might wake up tomorrow and there might be a mouse in my damn house. And I'm going to blame y'all. Y'all put it there. I'm gonna blame y'all. Y'all put it there. Also, I feel like sometimes when people have money like that and they have other houses, they may not be there, they don't upkeep those homes the way they should. And so you might have an issue, but you like, I ain't there, fuck. And then by the time you come home, now you have like mice infestation because you had holes that needed to be replaced and you didn't get them replaced. Like, come on, y'all. Okay. Ooh. Have you asked Lyric? I don't need to ask Lyric. I'm home all day, every day. I don't need to ask Lyric about if there have been mice in my house. Like, I don't need to ask him that. First of all, I know when this nigga kills a roach. Like, you can tell by the way it's done. Like, you just hear all of a sudden. Okay. Also, I have dogs. I think that's another thing that might keep shit from just wanting to crawl in my house. Okay. Y'all think they still hunching? Oh, no, I don't. I don't think Jeannie and Jeezy are still hunching. I just think they're toxic and I'm exhausted of talking about them. And I just really want for it to be over. That's how I feel. Ooh. And we're not going to talk about it, y'all, because I'm done. Mississippi Senator proposes bill to ban men from ejaculating without intent to fertilize an embryo. Oh, oh, I like that. I feel like we should balance it out. I like that. I feel like we should absolutely balance this shit out. If y'all want to be making all of these rules for people's bodies and, trying to punish women for having children out of wedlock and all of that weird puritanical bullshit y'all like to promote, girl, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me money. Oh, you shooting up the club, huh? Give me money. Okay, you shoot up the club, my nigga. Give me $1,000. You want to shoot up a bitch cool, huh? Give me $1,000 right now. Oh my God. Listen, we need that implemented all over the place. I bet you niggas would get more responsible with your ejaculation then, huh? Man, I remember a man got so mad with me when I said that shit. I said, oh, not you being mad that I'm saying we should implement laws that control your dick. Like, that's wild. That's wild. Motherfucker was mad. He was upset. Yo, he was so mad. And I was just like, I mean, if y'all are going to be telling women that they should be punished for having sex outside of wedlock, shouldn't you men be punished for it as well financially? Y'all are protectors and providers in this traditional system y'all are trying to recreate that never was. So if that's the case, oh, girl, before I go, can I pull up my TikTok with y'all before I go? Because I was, just scrolling through TikTok, because I'm glad that it's still alive and shit, Shout out to the girl that's alive. Please don't misunderstand. I feel like I always said it was a scheme. And which means I'm gonna just enjoy these things as I can. You know what I'm saying? Do my job, which is to get up here and help y'all think. Also to entertain y'all. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I am for you, that's what I'm supposed to be here for. Okay.
The last thing I'm gonna say.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Christian women only.
Okay. So we have these conversations all the time because I feel like puritanical mindsets about life are problematic and dangerous. And I don't think it's something we should promote, but y'all do it in all of these little ways. And then when we have conversations about it, you feel like all you have to do is just kind of like, you know, oh, this is what God wants. And then it's fine. Okay. So I found this little Caucasian girl on the TikTok called Jubilee Dawns, and her page is very interesting because she used to be in a cult. And so I've just started to listen to her page, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. And I feel like I'm going to be doing that a lot more in order for us to remove ourselves from the news, which can be overwhelming at this point, and it will be extremely exhausting, and it won't help but to permeate. If you're paying attention to what's going around you, it's gonna affect you. It is what it is. Like, you can't help it. That's why I think it's so funny when people act like, oh, all of the things Trump was going to do is not going to affect me. I'm like, energetically, yes, it is. That's something that a lot of people don't talk about from the civil rights movement. It was dark. The energy across the entire country, even for white people, was not very good. That's why when you watch old movies and you listen to the jazz that was created in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, a lot of that music was very almost cartoonish with how happy they wanted things to sound. Cartoons and movies, all this dancing and jumping up and down. And it was really because they wanted to incite a feeling that people weren't getting on a day-to-day basis because life was so fucking glum. Life was very glum for the people prior to your 70s, 80s, 90s. That is when shit starts to lighten up in this country. But to be clear, between Reconstruction and Jim Crow and the Civil Rights Movement, the country was in a very dark place that permeated to everybody in the country, whether you were black or white. And everybody forgets about that. So as we go on in this, and energy permeates through, and we be feeling how we be feeling and all of that type of shit, I'm going to be coming to y'all with the interesting things that I find on TikTok that people are doing stories on. So this is one of those things. So I'm gonna play this for you. We'll have a little conversation and I'll get off of here. Okay. And I'm also gonna need for y'all to really get over the whole mice thing in the comments. Like, get over it. It's over now. It's okay.
I'm back with more purity culture comments that will make you want to scream. Starting with, my Mormon ex-husband told me that he would rather that I was unalived than raped because I would be committing adultery. I am so glad he is your ex-husband. As a busty teenager, my mom's rule for necklines was that I had to bend over in a mirror, and if I wasn't comfortable with my dad seeing what was in the reflection, then the shirt was too low cut. What would dad think? From the same commenter, another time I was on a dad and daughter date with my dad, and he joked that there was something between us when we hugged. It was my chest. I had a professor in Bible college who said if you were SA'd, then you were biblically married to that person, and therefore you should never be with anyone else ever again. Senior year in my Christian school, the boys and the girls...
Oh, I just want to say, y'all, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Cheryl Underwood, so we will talk about her in another video. I'll probably, just take that out of the title. Sorry about that, y'all, but I forgot, and I thought I had saved it, but I didn't. And I talked about Flo and Amara on my members only Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Miami review that I did yesterday. I discussed all of the stuff with Amara and Flo. And if you want to see that, you can go to my Patreon and purchase it, or you can become a member. It's up to you. But yes, just so we know, I'll be taking Cheryl out of the thing because I think I saved her, but it didn't show up. And I'll come back to it.
Separated for the talk. The girls were told that it was a sin to touch themselves, but it was okay for the boys because they couldn't help it. When I was 12, I put on a pair of satin sleeve shorts and a matching shirt before bed. My mom shamed me and said that I was only allowed to wear them in my room. She then said I was wearing them around the house to show off for my brothers. My pastor told me and my boyfriend in high school that if we were bold enough to hold hands in church, that must mean that we were sleeping together in private. Our volleyball coach talked to us about purity, and that she practiced this by physically covering her husband's eyes when they were around other women wearing leggings to protect him and his soul. My mom found out I was having spicy conversations with my partner and thought that I was addicted to porn, which led her to sending me to therapy.
Wow.
I was literally brought to the front of the class and told that I was lying in front of 60 other teens because I said that I never thought about the public shaming repeated itself for months. I am asexual. My daughter's school in 2022 called all the 8th grade girls into a special lecture in gym class to tell them that it wasn't fair to male staff to wear short shorts.
Wow.
At 12 years old in church, they separated the boys and the girls for a lesson. The girls passed around a tub of white frosting that was supposed to represent our purity. Everyone put sprinkles in the frosting. This was supposed to reflect every time we let a boy touch us. They stirred it around and the frosting turned a murky green color. Then they asked if we wanted our future husband to open a pure white tub of frosting or a murky green one. The boys just played random games. Keep them coming, guys.
So yeah, Jubilee Dawn's, I thought I had followed her, is a content creator on TikTok that was in a cult that was obsessed with purity. And I tell y'all all the time that essentially those same, mindsets trickle in. This is why y'all think that being a baby mama is so bad versus being a wife. It's why, it's why everybody what the echo thing, yeah, it's not that bad. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I've listened to it. It doesn't feel like it's like doing the it's just like a slight echo. Anyway, but her commentary is her speaking on her experience, but also reading comments of other women who have had some of these very crazy things happen to them or said to them because of the way people react to a girl or women being pure. And, that just kind of translates in our society. And I think it's harmful. And I think it's dumb when you really think about it. You're not a fucking tub of icing. You're a person. You're a person. Okay. And like I told y'all about your girl Bonnie, okay, BondyBlue, the porn star, not me, girl, Bondy. My name is Bondi with a D, with a Y, not an I, not an E, girl, with a Y. Okay. But either way, the young girl is over there, giving herself to all of the people. And if she doesn't have like a STD, herpes, if she doesn't have anything like that from it, it's probably not stretched her out to have sex with all of those little, medium to small penis men that paid to come in and fuck her one after one another. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, April, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. No, I appreciate it. Sometimes I mute myself, but if I mute myself, sometimes I forget to unmute myself, girl. So sometimes I'm just like, girl, y'all be all right. Hold up. Purity culture failed. I don't know why people think it was successful or can be successful, especially if society continues to socialize men the way it does. Also, the idea that people are supposed to like not have sex or not be sexual. Like some people aren't, and that's fine. But some people and a lot of people are. So the shaming and punishing that is done is usually an internal thing that is then projected. So when you see women online, and I say, hold up, girl, let me go to it. Hold up. Because that was one of the things that I saved was something that I saw that was very puritanical and dumb. And so it then brought me back to the TikTok. Let me see. Okay, here it is. You guys do not care that women aren't married before pregnancy. You just want to feel above someone, kick someone down and shame them. It's so obvious the way you guys talk. That was the original, that was a response. To Kennedy B, who looks very stank in her Abby, she says, being pregnant before you get married deserves to be shamed. And I'm a baby mama myself. And even I can admit that. And I'm like, yeah, no. That's why I said self-hate is a thing. And it's like, so you think because you're a baby mama and you've internalize the shame and guilt that has been projected onto you in your life, you think that validates that fact. And so you should then project that onto other women, and everybody should feel shame because they aren't married before they have children. Even though we all have sex and sex equals children, we don't all get married because we all don't have the same value system in marriage, which it's supposed to be an option in a free country. It's supposed to be an option, girl. It's supposed to be an option. And so that's what I'm saying. This mentality of it is shameful that a woman is pregnant before she becomes a wife. I think that comes from that puritanical mindset. And the puritanical mindset is one that is really just a scapegoat for men doing what they want and women being beholden to that. And I think, if anybody would just pay attention to history, you would learn we tried a lot of these things. They do not work. Trying to be pure is unrealistic. People are sexual beings. The only reason you're here on earth is because of sex. People are going to want to have sex. Being responsible and being choosy does not mean that you have to be abstaining in order to have self-respect. And men not wanting to take care of children is not always a signifier that something is shameful about the woman. No, it means that women are physically having the babies. So where else are the babies going to go? Initially, they're going to be with the mothers. That's just how this is going to work. So because sex is an act that doesn't always equate to a baby, people are going to be out here fucking and surprised when they have babies, even though they didn't want them and they still had unprotected sex. And a lot of times, because women are the ones walking around with the bodies, they understand that if they get pregnant, I'll take care of the baby. The man who doesn't have to be responsible for something because it's not connected to his body does not understand the responsibility of, I don't really want it, but if it happens, I'll take care of it. That's not like a regular thought process for men the way it is for women. So when we talk about this, this responsibility and people say shit like, oh, well, she didn't want the baby, she shouldn't have had sex. It's like, well, he had sex with her too. That should be the same thing for him. But no, for him, you feel like he don't want the baby, so she should have to do something different, like have, a procedure, or we should just put shame and guilt on her because she did not stop the sex from happening, I guess. All puritanical mindsets that I feel like are problematic and that are regressive and don't help anybody have a better life. It just shames and guilts people about the things that are actually normal and natural to them. And then when you do that, it creates this mania behind it. Keep telling a person not to think about sex, not to talk about sex. All they're going to think about and talk about is sex. If you have a more balanced understanding, it's a part of life. It's enjoyable. It can sometimes be fun, but it is also something that you should take seriously because it has all of these nuances to it as a pleasurable experience. It can also end up not being pleasurable. So you have to be mindful because it is something that should be taken with a lot of consideration. You can have that mindset on sex without feeling the extreme of no sex means you respect. No. How you do it matters. Okay? How you do it matters. Yes, and two parents is not always the best choice. It's not. It's not. Sorry. Some men are not safe for households. Some men were meant for their sperm and nothing else. And there are men that don't have kids and are better fathers sometimes. So I think we feel like just because physically someone can do something, that means that they should. No, I don't agree. Okay. Just like that teenager that has to apologize to the church for getting pregnant, the father didn't have to apologize. Exactly. And so when we have the mentality that the men don't have to be punished, the boys don't have to be punished, but the girls have to be shamed and guilted, what ends up happening here? You have a society of boys and men that are still going to be able to pressure and convince women to have sex before they're ready or against what's best for them out of wanting validation from men and coercion. You see what I'm saying? So everybody got to be on the same page or it's not going to work. And everybody's not on the same page. Okay? I don't listen, and that's the thing. I don't think people should shame people who value marriage either. I don't think that's actually happening. That's not what's actually happening. People aren't actually going around shaming people who are married. Like, that's not happening. But what you do find is that people will put marriage on a pedestal when it doesn't secure anything. That's what you will find, is that people will often feel like, oh, I got married, that makes me better. And then you have people that are like, no, not really. Not really. Especially if the husband or the wife doesn't value the marriage the way the other person does, meaning that, for instance, Yandy and Mendices. Yandy values the marriage more than Mendices does. Because when Mendices decided to take his ring off and say that they weren't married, even though they are still legally married, he was able to do so without any shame or guilt. I don't like you right now, so we not married. Yandy didn't have that same mindset about it. She actually felt so strongly about it that she was projecting her insecurities in her marriage onto Rashida and Kirk's side chick, Jasmine. So she cares about marriage. She does, but he doesn't. So then what ends up happening? He doesn't care, so he does what he wants to do. She cares so much that she's willing to embarrass herself and get involved in other people's relationships because of how much she values marriage. And then somebody can come in and be like, bitch, you value it, but your husband don't, because he out here on the streets doing this, this, and that. That's why the judgment shouldn't happen. That's why Yandy should be quiet, and you valuing marriage should be showcased within your marriage and you not fucking married people. If that's how you feel. To me, if you really value marriage, value your own marriage and respect when other people are married and don't try to fuck them. That's it. That's all you can really do. But the idea that every woman that doesn't want marriage, or a woman that is a single parent, like the way women who have children are judged when they don't have a marriage certificate latched on to them. Yeah, I don't think that's the same. I don't think it's the same. Let's see. Jeanie grew up hood adjacent. Her teenage years were a little crazy. This take doesn't feel correct. Okay. Let's think about that. And I understand what you might mean. I didn't say she grew up with wealth. I said she's an Asian woman. So I imagine that she grew up dealing with mostly white and Asian men and only having sex with black men ever so often, not fully being in a fully formed relationship with them, right? Because like she said, she used to like to get her little dark meat on the side. Y'all remember that? So think about when you allow yourself to get really enveloped in a black man and his dickdom, and playing a role for him and falling in love with him, what that means. I think that it's a different situation to have a one-off with a black guy you meet out at the club every now and again, in comparison to being in like a toxic relationship with one that's dicking you down and talking to you crazy. So I understand why you could say my take is not correct because she's hood adjacent. I still feel like her dating history shows that before she was never in a full relationship with a black man like that, especially not as a grown adult woman that's also famous. I feel like that's different. And when I said, we want what we don't have, I'm talking about community wise. Yeah, you can be in community with black men, but that doesn't mean that, you are going to marry them. When you're an Asian girl and your community tells you need to marry either a white person or an Asian person. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of other nationalities of people feel like you could play around with black men, but you don't go and like get in long-term relationships. You don't let them put babies in you. You don't marry them, girl. You don't do that. And she might have felt like what she received from these one-offs, if that was in a relationship form, it might be something more passionate. And that's another thing that I feel like black people showcase. Black people have always showcased more passion. That's not always positive or negative, but even in porn, like if you ever watch porn, white people look like they're overperforming. Even Asian people, they look like they're overperforming. So it looks like it's just so good, I can't control it. Black people, a lot of the times will like have sex from a space that looks like it's real. It sounds like it's real. Like it doesn't look like a performance as much because it seems more passionate or more enthralled. Black people with dancing, music, we always seem like the more passionate people, right? So imagine Jeannie Mai growing up across the street from Black people, but never really being in their houses or never really being in a relationship with one, and only being with Asian and white men. They carry themselves a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't feel like it's actually not correct. I just think you were misunderstanding me. You can be hood adjacent and also have it in your household that you can't bring no nigga home. You feel me? And then one day you decide to bring a nigga home. It is different. It is different. So that's what I meant when I said that. Not that she had never interacted with Black people, but just when it comes to them being in her family, it's different. It's so much different. People date outside of their race all the time. And it's not the same thing when it comes time to bring them home to your family members. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was my opinion. Anyway, y'all, this is just talk. Like, we were just talking at the end of this, but I'm about to go get back into the TikTok and save some more stories, and I'm gonna come back up here and we'll discuss further things, just because I want us to be able to talk about shit that's just not all of this, like, doom and gloom, even though I need for y'all to stop like acting like the doom and gloom is not happening, because I think a lot of people put their head in the sand, and that's how we got here. So, just be real. That's another thing. Absolutely. I'm not so sure she was hood adjacent. She grew up in a Bay and was homeless for a while because she ran away. Okay. Yes, there is OLFP tonight. Thank you for reminding me on Niecy Dixon's channel. So make sure y'all come through for that tonight. I like these conversations too. I want y'all to understand. I'm not always, just like, bitch, you want to grill me? I'm like, nah, I'm open. But I do feel like, people just be taking shit too seriously sometimes. And I'm not even really that serious, but they don't know. So I got to tell them it's not that deep, baby. I'm just joking. It's all right. It's okay, girl. But we'll be back for Ladies First panel tonight on Niecy's channel. All right. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll come back soon. I Like It Like That will be up tomorrow. So around 2:30, come look for me. All right. Peace out.